Hey everybody, Ryan FMC here, and before we talk about today's topic, I just wanted to remind you all about my update about not having a job. So therefore, I've been streaming more, making more videos, and the stream's been going great, right? There's been a lot of subscribers, a lot of followers, a lot of people just hanging out in chats, and the streams have been fun, right? We play a lot of Teppen, we talk about random stuff, we talk about random Teppen stuff, and I've been enjoying it a lot. I've been trying out different things. The next new thing that I'm going to be trying out is actually coming up this Saturday, so December 12th, I'm going to be doing a subathon. A couple of people in chat thought that this would be a good idea. I thought about it. I was like, you know what? Let's try it. So I haven't done a subathon before, so I haven't gotten the nitty gritties, but basically right now, all you need to know is that on December 12th, Saturday, starting at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, I will be going live on my Twitch. If you haven't followed me there, you can hit the link below in the description to hit that follow button so you'll get notified when I go live. And basically a subathon is I'll be streaming for a couple hours, and then every sub that we get, or gift sub or bits, that will add minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes to the clock. So the more subs and the more love we get, the longer and longer that stream will be. Also, I'm planning on doing incentives like after we hit 10 subs or something, we'll do a hero power tier list or something like that. But I hope that you all will hopefully join on Saturday, and I'll see you all there. That's enough about that. Today we have a fun topic to discuss. It is a hero art tier list. I did actually do a group project, as it were, with my chat room over on Twitch a couple days ago, like mid last week, and a lot of people were there and everyone kind of gave their input, and so that's kind of what we did to create this tier list. However, we took a long time and went on a lot of tangents, so I wanted to almost do a too long didn't read, condense it with the core thoughts, and then post it for anyone that just wants to see the condensed list, or that maybe didn't watch it or help with it on stream. I do want to say this is a hero art tier list. Yet again, this is mostly my own opinions, plus some of other Teppen players and my chat room. So if you disagree, that's completely fine. Be nice and say why you disagree and why you think, oh, this should be higher or lower. And, we can have different opinions. And that's what's great about tier lists, because yes, some things are like, no, this is right, this is wrong. And some of these hero powers definitely could be in different tiers. Also, what I do want to say before we jump into the meat and bones of this tier list is this is a hero art tier list in Teppen in general. Not this meta, but like, hey, just in Teppen in general of the history, and also just what tends to be good in Teppen of like, hey, this is a red hero power. Does this fit with what red wants to do and really goes along with the red game plan? Or is it like, man, this isn't that good of a red hero power, but if it was black, it would be better. So it's not this meta tier list, it's just Teppen in general. Now, there are, 42 hero arts, so that is a lot. I'm not going to go nitty gritty into each and every one, and we'll just kind of go from tier to tier. Technically, it is, S to F, and technically left to right, but the left to right kind of gets a little bit muddled, so don't get too hung up on, oh, I think, antibody activation is better than yawn, because they're basically, it is mostly the tiers, not necessarily the left to right, but that it kind of plays a factor. Also, I do want to say that with Teppen hero powers, there's a couple different overarching umbrellas that I look at, and it is, what does it do? A lot of hero powers either interact with what your opponent's doing by, usually destroying or halting or doing something to their units, or it does something to your units, like pump them up, resurrect them, make them a bigger threat. So those are the two main things, and some are better, some are not as good. And another big factor is AP cost. We see anything from like 12 AP to like 22 AP. Some things can be 22 AP and be very, very good, but some things you look at, you're like, man, that's 22 AP. Maybe if this was like 18 AP, that would be very good. So that is something that I'm going to be referencing a lot. First up, the best of the best, we have Amatersu, Great Divine Intervention, and this is just a powerhouse of a hero art, because guess what? It pumps up your own units by giving +2 HP to all your units. It hurts your enemy units of dealing 3 damage to all of them, and then it has the extra caveat of, hey, death triggers do not apply, we silence those. This does so much that it is so good, and that is why you're seeing so much of this on the ladder, to no one's surprise. The next up is Raging Demon, because yet again, kind of the same thing. It's a removal spell because it destroys the unit in front. Also, it's a pump spell because you trigger the ascend of one of your units, which usually is kill another thing, or it becomes bigger, or gets revenge. So it's a removal spell plus pump spell. Yes, with Raging Demon, you do have to be playing Ascend units, but Black and Ascend is already a core thing in the game and is a very powerful thing, so it's not that big of a detriment. Next up is Hadoken. Ryu Hadoken has been always a very fantastic hero power from the get-go of Teppen. It is not, I think, as good as Amatersu's hero powers right now, but still, just your hero power dealing 3 damage to a unit, an enemy unit that you choose, is extremely powerful. And more times than not, that's just going to kill it. It is a 1-for-1 trade, so that's maybe why the power level's gone down a little bit, but man, is it still just so powerful. This could be my bias talking. Ouroboros is up next. I do think this one is so powerful, even with the changes and the reworks that it's gotten, because Black loves sending things to your graveyard, resurrecting them, and big beefy units, and that's what Ouroboros does. It says, hey, send something to your graveyard or play it and it gets killed. Hey, bring it back with your hero power, and it's probably going to take your opponent more energy and effort to kill it than it is for you to play it, and so you are up in that exchange, and that feels fantastic. The last S tier is Spike Dive Bomb. I think this is the one that I'm a little bit shaky on, but man, has Spike Dive Bomb really seen a ton of play. One thing that really helps it is that it's only 15 AP, and that is pretty darn cheap for this effect of give +4/+4 and self-destruct after 1 attack to a friendly unit. Well, you could be like, well, it kills its stuff. +4/+4 is so good. You can also use this, your opponent's unit hits it, and then your big +4/+4 hits them or hits another unit. And a lot of Black units don't mind getting killed because, like zombies or gates or something, you're getting worth once it dies. Now, time for the A tier. Yes, A tier is not as good as S tier, but man, is A tier very powerful. First up is Yawn. Yawn Lee is such a efficient package. What does green a lot of times love to do? It loves to play MP ramp units and then ascend over them, or play other big, fat, heavy hitter green units. And Yawn Lee helps you just to be like, you know what? You can keep doing that over and over and over because of the MP advantage. So yes, this doesn't destroy anything of your opponent's units, or doesn't really pump up your own units, but it kind of pumps up your own units in a way of you can play bigger and better and more efficient creatures and just cheat on MP over and over and over again. And that's why it is such a strong hero power. Jill Antibody Activation is next, because yes, you do have to be playing Explore in order to use her hero power, but Red has a lot of good Explore. Look at Hellbat, and there's so many good ways to get shields and stuff like that, and a lot of the Explore stuff is great, like detonation and shields. Ammo's even pretty darn good. So having to play Explore cards to achieve Antibody Activation is not that big of a cost in the grand scheme of things. 2, it's a pretty low AP. It is only 15, which is pretty low, so you can get quite a few activations out of Antibody Activation. And then +1/+3 and shield. This does so much to protect a unit. Shield is fantastic. +1/+3, that's a lot of stats. That is why she is an A tier. Dark Destruction Wesker is up next. 20 AP is not cheap, but it's not super expensive. It's towards the more expensive, but basically it's just like no questions asked. Hey, is that enemy unit 5 MP or less? I will destroy it. I don't think it is as good as Raging Demon or Hadoken, just because Raging Demon does a little bit more, Hadoken's in red, and it shoots around so much damage, and 5 MP or less doesn't kill some good 6 or 7 drops, but it is still such a solid hero power. Feline Shield Spire, it is only 14 AP, that is very cheap. It gives a friendly unit plus 3 HP and reduces damage taken of 3 or less to 1, so you're getting 3 HP, which is kind of a lot, and a way to protect it more of, hey, anything that's 3 or less, it just becomes less. So put this on a heavy hitter unit, that is going to become a bigger heavy hitter unit. Yes, it doesn't give it any keywords or plus attack, but you know what? That's okay. That does not make Shield Spire any weaker. Up next, a classic one, Morgan Temptation. It is 23 AP, so that is very expensive. It's towards the most expensive end of the list, but the effect is very powerful. Halts all enemy units for 13 seconds. This plays so well with what some purple decks, not all purple decks, but some purple decks want to do of big res. What does big res want to do? It wants to play a Buki or some big res unit, use hookshot or devil trigger, and just spam actions. Never wants to actually kill any of the opponent's units because they don't want to open up a board slot for the opponent to play something better, and just keep on halting. Oh, I'm out of halt spells in my hand? Well, I have Temptation to do the final blow, and that is why Morgan is just so good. Dante Devil Trigger is up next, and mostly because this only costs 13 AP. That is so cheap. So many games you can just have 2, 3, 4 of these. Pretty darn easy. Give your hero immune to damage for 10 seconds. This is a great thing for very aggressive decks, or even maybe big res, but we've definitely seen this played in more aggressive decks before, where you're sacking a lot of life to yourself or your opponent. You're just kind of ignoring what your opponent's doing and you're taking a lot of damage. And this is only 13, so you can just be like, you know what? Fog what you're doing for 10 seconds. A little bit later, fog it again, just to save all that health. And over the long term, that does so much work. The last A tier is Spike Launch. 20 AP. Yes, kind of expensive, but you deal damage equal to how much damage you've lost. And yes, it does cap at 12 now. This used to be a lot better, but it's still so good, especially in Teppen. Black wants to sacrifice life and has units that get pumped, like Burn Dynarex and stuff like that, when you sacrifice life. And you can play Selfless Predation. You can play other ways to gain that life. So you can lose life, do Spike Launch, gain life, get your units more powerful. It is just a very good marriage in Teppen. Now B, kind of the upper middle of the pack, right? Not quite C, but we're in B territory. The first one is Thunder Edge, 16 AP, pretty cheap. Get +1 attack and agility to a friendly unit. I really like this because +1 attack goes a long way. Yes, no HP, but that's fine. And agility is so good, especially in a dual color deck where you can play Itsuke's or Crush units. I really like this. Or just in a red, give one of your flight combo units agility. That is so good. Then we have another kind of similar thing of Tekoha. 18 AP, so a little bit more expensive. Give it friendly unit +2 attack and combo, effective for 1 attack. This, you could be like, well, that's so bad because it's only good for 1 attack, where Thunder Edge or something like that is good for the rest of that unit's life. Purple has so many flyers that actually have a lot of health that sometimes just that one hit can just be the game or half their life total or something like that. So that goes a long way. Then we have Ricoha. Ricoha used to be S tier. It did get changed. It still is really good, but I'm putting it in B. It could be a little bit higher. This is basically Purple's version of Spike Launch. However, all you have to do is play actions. You don't have to lose life. But it did get a little weaker, and the memory thresholds and the damage dealing effects did kind of become better in my mind because I think it used to be too strong. So I like where Ricoha is. Then we do have Senku Akuma, 16 AP, move a friendly unit to a random open board slot. Grant that unit Veil 10 seconds and immune to damage for 10 seconds. Yet again, 16 AP, pretty cheap, but it is only for 10 seconds, then it goes away. but 10 seconds on a Orochi or a Fast Tyrant can go a long way. Now we have Devil Breaker. Devil Breaker is seeing a lot more work these days, and that is why it is in B. It is 15 AP, that is pretty darn cheap. Give a friendly unit +3 attack, that is a ton of attack. Spillover, which is a great keyword when you just want to explode your opponent's board, but it is only effective for 1 attack. But you know what? Guess what? In an aggressive strategy, Devil Breaker could just be the end-all be-all of the last 3 points of damage you need, or just an efficient way to remove a lot of your opponent's board with Spillover. So everything kind of marriages together to make a very solid B hero art. Then we have Denjin Reiki. Denjin Reiki has seen tons of play, no play, got changed. Now it's solidly B. It is 15 AP, so got cheaper. Enhances damage dealing effects for cards in your hand, EX pocket, and friendly units by 1. This is still by 1, it goes a long way. However, as soon as you draw another card, that card does not have that effect, and that's okay. This is still a powerful thing, but that's why it's just not, anything too crazy anymore. Then we see Rathalos for the first time on this list. Blazing Wall of 14 AP, give +2 HP and shield to a friendly unit. +2 HP and shield is a big effect. For 14 AP, that goes a long way. However, right here we have antibody activation. More times than not, antibody activation is just so much stronger. But yes, of course, Rathalos Blazing Wall is good. But I don't know, if I want shield and HP, I'm going to go with antibody activation more times than not. We have another Chun-Li, the Hikose, of give +1 attack and heavy pierce to a friendly unit. This one, I don't know. I think this is fine. I do like that it sticks around, so you can have a heavy hitter that's not just for 1 attack or anything. +1 attack goes a long way. Heavy pierce is good to finish off the game, and there are some really good green units to pair this with. And 13 AP is so cheap, so that is why it's B. It's one that I don't play that much, but maybe I should, because I definitely see opponents playing it a little bit more than I play it itself. Then we have Fight Against Inner Demons, 14 AP. Pretty cheap, right? Add a Maverick or Maverick Hunter randomly to the EX pocket. I'll go on this little tangent. I don't usually love hero arts that give you a card, because what's so intrinsically powerful about hero arts is your opponent can interact with it. It doesn't go on the stack or during active response phase, as it were. In Teppen, you do your hero power and it just happens. However, you do Fight Against Inner Demon, that happens, something goes to your X pocket, then you need to spend MP to play your card, and then your opponent can interact with it because it goes on the stack. And that is not that great. However, Maverick is a ridiculously good card, right? 1 MP, destroy a random enemy unit, an MP cost of 6 or less. Yes, it is random. Yes, it is just 6 or less, but 6 is that's higher than Dark Destruction. That is so good. However, Maverick Hunter is not nearly as good. It is just 1 MP, so that is very cheap. Give a friendly unit +2/+4, and you get to pick it. I'm not saying that Maverick Hunter is a bad card. Like, man, if this was a card, I definitely would be playing it. But more times than not, when you roll the RNG dice when you do Fight Against Inner Demons, you want Maverick, not Maverick Hunter. As you can see, C tier has the most tiers. And I don't think that's just me being lazy, being like, I don't know where to put this, I'm just going to put it in C tier. But a lot of C tier it's fine. It's nothing too good, because S, A, and B are all hero powers that I am pretty darn happy to play because they're all pretty darn powerful. And D and F are all hero powers that's like, yeah, this sees fringe play or not that good to very not good. Where C tier is like, this is fine, you could play it, it's kind of okay, but there's probably other hero powers that are better. So I'm kind of going to clump it all into one. And usually why these things are in C tier is because other hero powers are doing what it's doing better, either because the effects are better or because the AP cost is lower. Or, like you see with Rocket Launcher and Hey Nico, they're attached to cards. And like I said with Fight Against Inner Demons, I don't love when hero powers are attached to cards, and that intrinsically makes them a lot weaker. Or maybe it's just the effect isn't that good. Like Breen of Nightmares. You would think that Breen of Nightmares effect is good because you could tutor up a Revenge unit from your deck to your EX pocket, but yet again, then you have to play it. You want more bang for your buck than what it's offering. Or sometimes it's just that, you know what? This is a fine effect, like Celestial Envoy's Miracle. It's a good effect, but I don't know. It's cool that it stacks, but it's 20 AP, so you're probably not stacking it. And I would probably just go all in and use, Thunder Edge just on one unit. So that's why these are just there they might be fine, but there's just other better things to be doing. Now let's talk about D, and we'll actually kind of talk about these yet again. Choral Orchestra is up next, 16 AP, so a pretty fair cost. Select one friendly unit. All units in your hand and EX pocket that are the same tribe as the selected unit get -1 MP. Yet again, as soon as you play that card, draw another one, that another one does not get the -1 MP. When this first came out, I was hyped for this. I thought, man, ooh, this will be super cool in human tribe builds or just tribe builds in general. And it's just always a little bit lackluster. It's fun. It's just a little bit lackluster. And I would rather be just probably, even if it's a human build, I would rather be playing Devil Breaker or Shield Spire or something like that. Then we have X Charge Shot. This used to be so good, but it did get changed, and now it is so fragile. It's 21 AP, which is kind of near the very expensive, and especially really hurts this, because this is a synergy hero power. Give all friendly units when HP is boosted, gain +1 attack. This is very hard to turn on, because I want to flood my board of like 4-drop, 4-drop, 4-drop. But that's only 12 AP. I then have to net 9 more AP before you can actually use your hero power. And by that time, your units probably aren't that great because you kind of need to use your hero power to really make your units very good. And your opponent's already interacting, already destroying what you're setting up. So intrinsically, Charge Shot is a more synergistic thing. But now that the AP is so high, it makes it synergistic, but just falls apart more times than not, and that's why it is a D hero power. And now we have Wrath Awoken, 22 AP. You have to pump up your units with actions. Yes, it gives it flight, but at most, it's 22 AP to give a unit flight and +3 attack. When also you have the caveat that you have to actually pump up your units' attack in game. That's a lot to ask, and just not that much, because guess what? I would rather just play Shoryuken or Blazing Wall or Great Divine Intervention or something like that. That is asking too much, too high of an AP, and you're not getting enough bang for your buck. Now we have Akuma destroying everything with 4 HP or less. Let me just look at that to make sure. Yes, 4 HP or less. This is 20 AP, so it's the same as Dark Destruction. Guess what? More times than not, vast majority of the times, I just want to be playing Dark Destruction because I can point Dark Destruction at one thing that costs 5 MP or less and just kill it, no questions asked. Where this is so much setup cost. You have to hope that your opponent is playing 4 HP or less units, or that you have to do some trades. Also, this kills your own units. And I do think that this is a hero art that could be better in red, because red has BB hoods and all those enter the battlefield, deal damage effects that you can ping your opponent's stuff to set up oh, okay, now that's 4 HP, now that's 4 HP, now that's 3 HP, now I can use my hero power. So overall, very off this one. Thunderblade is next. This one I kind of go on a tangent. Thunderblade is 12 AP. That is so cheap. And it is so fun to steal cards from your opponent. I'm not going to lie, this is a great meme hero art, and I kind of love that it exists, but it is not that powerful. 12 AP, yes, very cheap. Steal 1 random card from your opponent's deck and add it to your EX pocket. My big thing is, yet again, this is a hero art that gives you cards, so then you have to spend MP to play that card. Your opponent can interact with that card. All those things I've said before apply to this. Also, I put cards in my deck for synergies and for a reason. My opponent does the same thing. just because the opponent has a really good card that's really powerful for them does not mean it's really good and really powerful for me. It could be a blank, or if you're playing 2 colors, you might not even be able to cast it. And now you could be like, well, Ryan, what if you're playing, what if you steal their really, really good card that is game winning that you can't win? I'll be like, okay, sure, but this is stealing it from their deck, not their hand, where that means they hadn't drawn that really, really good card. Maybe that was the last card in their deck that in the game they would not draw. So that does not really bode well for me, because it's like, if it was from their hand, then I'd be like, well, yeah, because man, they could have just casted that card and won the spot. But no, it's from their deck. They didn't draw that card. Maybe they would draw it later. Maybe they wouldn't. It's just more of the RNG type of game that Plunderblade loves to play. Yet again, super fun, not super powerful. Now we have the F tier. These are the ones that I just don't think are really worth playing, at least now. Maybe that will change, or maybe they'll see a rework and then really get more powerful. First up is Change Form, 25 AP. This is the most expensive one. 25 AP is so expensive compared to sometimes 12, 13, or even 20, right? 20 is still kind of expensive. But anyways, 25 AP. If your hero has 5 life or less, units in your hand and EX pockets gain +2/+2. It's super expensive. There's a caveat that your hero has to be half its life or less. And then all of the units in your hand and EX pocket gain +2/+2. So not on the battlefield, not in your deck, just your hand and EX pocket. That's not good. That is not good. There's way more efficient, better things to be doing that have way less caveats. So that is why Change Form is not seeing that much play, if any. Darkness Illusion is up next, 22 AP, so kind of expensive, but not end all be all expensive. Destroy any enemy units inflicted with halt. You could be like, man, this is so good, where you just halt, Darkhold, Crystal Hunter, halt, destroy. But no. If I'm playing those cards, usually I'm playing big res, and then usually I just want to do Temptation, because I don't really want to destroy their stuff, because that is not the game plan that Purple is really playing. And so this is the thing that Purple doesn't really want to play that game plan. Or when Purple wants to destroy things, you could play Shadowblade or other hero powers that are more efficient and cheaper than Darkness Illusion. Now up for the Dantes. First up, we have Ebony and Ivory, 19 AP. Give all friendly units Reverberate. Resonate will trigger an additional time when an action card is used. This effect can stack. This effect is like a brewer's dream of like, oh man, I can play a Buki, then Ebony and Ivory, and everything I play is so much HP, or Koz, and all these pump spells. This is a win more hero power. If you have a Buki that your opponent has not dealt with, it triggering Resonate twice is probably not going to really help you that much. It's just it's win more. It's going to make you win more. I do not want a hero power that makes me win more. The best is hero powers that when you're behind, push you to being even or winning, or when you are even, it pushes you to winning. Where Ebony and Ivory is a blank. You have to have units, you have to be winning for this to be good, and even when it's that, there's other way better things to do, because you're playing Resonate things, you're playing Foresights, you're playing so many cheap things. This doesn't really do much. Anyways, done with this one. And you know what? The more I talk about this, the more I just want this to be the worst one. So maybe we just go like this. I like that more. Now we have Quicksilver, 18 AP, grant slow to an enemy unit, and that unit cannot counter. Slow is cool. Cannot counter is cool. However, a lot of Purple just plays halts or destroys or stuff like that, or bounces, and I think all those are more effective in the cards than on a hero power that's slow and counter. Also, there's Ascend. You could just ascend over it, or it will eventually die. I'm just not that big of a fan of it. Then what used to be maybe the worst one, but not anymore, because Dante took the cake after me getting angry at it one more time. We have Gaia Armor, 21 AP, so kind of towards the more expensive, so you need to be doing a lot. Give Veil to all friendly units. Veil means they cannot target it, which is very powerful. However, you have to have like 3 units on board to make this worth it. And they have to be good units, and once those units do die, because they could just be damage dealing effects and stuff like that, or just trade off in combat, you lost it, right? You have nothing else going on. Also, what makes this really weak is there are tons and tons of random effects. Red is full of them, of BB hoods dealing damage randomly across the board, or the best hero power in the game. It doesn't target, so it'll still deal 3 damage. It doesn't care. The wolf don't care if you have Veil. Or black is full of random effects of, Mad Massacre randomly dealing damage, or Sample Collection, and Living Death, Cruel Game, all those things. There are so many random damage dealing effects or random destroy that makes Veil kind of laughable, and especially when you're like building your whole deck around it and spending 21 AP to do that, it becomes very, very laughable. So overall, I wanted this to be the too long didn't read version of this, but yet again, like usual, these things are really fun. I get sidetracked. I just wanted to talk about more and more Teppen, so too long didn't read became it's a short story. But overall, those are my thoughts. I do think that there is a lot of room in this tier list for personal preference, and also like, oh, maybe this one in B is up here or something like that for you, and that's completely fine. Let me know in the comments, and yet again, everyone has their different opinions, and let's be nice about it. But thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time.